That was Linvision versus Eruption, where Eruption ended up picking Anubis, and we're hoping to do well over there, but Linvision actually started off on like a 10-5 half, so clearly Lin were pretty prepared for that one to come through after their recent beating, but there's still a chance of them to come back. And we're going to be heading into our second map while that first is still going on, just to remind you guys of how damn fast that was. So starting things out on Nuke, it'll be Renewal and IHC to figure out who exactly will be proceeding forward and who will be eliminated in their road to Brazil.
I'm not really sure how much that CT side start is even going to affect Renewal. I think maybe the best thing that can come off it is that they can at least close out the game with a better scoreline. But right now, I am sort of rooting for the camp, or at least more. I have a little bit more faith in the camp of IHC. But to the credit of Team Renewal, Linvision right now, they are destroying Team Eruption. Right? They started off really well. So if Renewal can really upset Team Linvision, then I'm more likely to believe that that first map from IHC was really just an overperformance either from IHC or just an underperformance from Renewal, and I'm banking more on the latter. Oh God, sneeze coming through.
I believe it's all right, of course. Look, the other interesting thing, then the interesting fact to obviously keep in mind is that for the Intel Extreme Masters brand, this is pretty big news. This is if Linvision does not win. Because the remaining teams are, of course, Mongolian. This would be the first time, if I'm not wrong, a non-Chinese representative of Asia will be going to an Intel Extreme Masters tournament that is not outside of the recent Rio major, obviously, in quite a few years. And obviously, I'm not including the online qualifiers and everything that was going on that side of things, but yeah. Of course, we've got a small technical timeout going on as we figure out all of the shenanigans with the server and the like, and as soon as that is sorted out, we will be fine. I'm trying to think back. I believe that the last time there was a non-Chinese representative of Asia was actually when there was a dedicated East Asian qualifier for an IEM Sydney. Now, might have been 2019's IEM Sydney, because I seem to remember that MVP Phoenix played there, and they had a they might have had a best of 3 where they upset someone and they didn't finish last place, because that's what I remember, that MVP Phoenix got to one of the IEMs, they didn't finish last place, and they beat out a North American team is sort of what I remember. And might have been E United. Was he? Yeah, okay, I think it was United. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. And then after that, they lost that to Big. As you can tell, I remember the MVP Phoenix core very fondly. That was one of my favorite teams of all time in any esport. It's a great organization to get behind as a fan. Yeah, that's MVP Phoenix.
Is that the same thing? Because like I think MVP Phoenix might be Dota and MVP PK might be CSGO.
Well, like when I say MVP PK, I just mean MVP, right? Like or MVP Phoenix, because obviously I was introduced to them through Dota, the legendary MVP Phoenix lineup from Dota 2, which of course did produce one of the greatest coaches in all of esports, in my opinion, right now. One of the 3 legitimate coaches in Dota 2, Heen, who is the coach of Team Secret, and the MVP project was always famous for sort of getting into these games that weren't necessarily the best in Korea, in terms of how many people are playing them, and ergo they managed to get in on a budget, but they somehow always had competitive rosters. You know, the MVP PK lineup in Counter-Strike, which obviously Zine was a part of. Zine now currently playing for Team NKT. You know, it was headlined by players like Zeta and Stax, and a lot of these players who are now doing really well over in Valorant. They were the ones who started off the Vision Strikers lineup that ended up becoming DRX, if I remember correctly. But that was the kind of team that they were able to put together, and it was consistently competitive within Asia. It was consistently competitive within the region, within all of these qualifiers and the like as well. It was a good time. It was a good time. Of course, that IEM Sydney, I just went back and checked. I'm right, but I forgot there was also a Southeast Asian qualifier, interestingly enough, and that was the Boot Dreamscape team that went forward, which you should remember, because that had Splashke and Bulbasaur, as well as Ben Kai.
Oh yeah, I remember that team, because my team would personally get very, like, we would get thrashed by them on a regular basis.
They were the fiends of Faceit. That's how I remember them.
Yeah, I just had a few quick moves up my sleeve against them, though. I just opened console and I typed disconnect.
Well, enough about your disconnections. It's about what we've connected into IHC and Renewal in the present day and age. We need to get out of the past, and Noise needs to get the hell out of Garage. He will be doing so, but not in the way he'd want it. His soul will be the only part that departs on his body.
Pretty great start for IHC. Now, question is whether or not they can convert, but they are sprawling all across the B site over on Team Renewal. I mean, they have no idea what's going to hit them because of all these angles that might just end up coming through. Bomb now down. Dualies in the hands of Mick. Coming in from Squeaky Door as well. So multiple angles that they're going to have to challenge.
Big setting aggressive, and into Annihilation he goes, or rather Annihilation goes into him the other way around. He is still tearing it up with the clocks, and if there's one thing we know, IHC knows how to win around the clocks.
I think they have better chances when they're playing against rifles.
Well, Renewal look like they're going to be opting into a full save right now. Just the USP is kept on them. They want to prioritize the early rifle round rather than that. It's something we've seen a lot of in Asia, actually. If Rare Atom comes to mind, I thought Eruption did it as well until we saw otherwise today, but a lot of teams prioritize the first round save after losing the pistol on the CD side.
I mean, it just makes sense sometimes. You don't want to be in a position where you're basically ending up on round 4 with shoddy weaponry and then allowing the T's to just continue to build up bank instead of just trying to give them a fair shot once and for all on the 3rd round. Is this it? Is this farm built? Well, never mind.
Okay, at least he some sort of it for himself, right? That's some of his troubles made up for. In the meanwhile, I did a bit more digging, and I believe that the last time there was a Mongolian team specifically at an Intel Extreme Masters was actually IEM Oakland, which is so long ago that NIP actually won a tournament. This was IEM Oakland 2017, the legendary tournament where Rez had his breakout tournament, the breakout performance, and that was when the Mongols went there. It was Sogu, NCL, Machine Gun, Zilkenberg, and Mara. You know, I think
as
most
soon as
of
you
these
said
guys
Mongolian team from 2017, I was already like, yeah, there's no other team.
Has to be the Machine Gun squad. But yes, enough of a trip down memory lane. Good times, man. I remember that tournament. Good times. Noise has been able to afford up an AWP for himself, courtesy of the few kills he got for the USP, and that's going to be something to keep an eye out for. Score quickly down under the vents, and he is gone, gone, gone.
Now the question is whether or not Team Renewal are actually going to capitalize on this this save that they've gone for in the 2nd round, just to be able to pick up that AWP news in the 3rd one. The Ralte pretty close to the target, but not quite connecting. Shifting all the way. IHC able to get full control of Secret. They are going to be running into Oracle though.
Oracle's got so much to have to contend with, but it's only heads he sees, and that's exactly what he'll take into his own hands. All contention, rotates back. It's Decon that's been quickly wiped out as well. Ariukul will continue to rain down until finally Bartek can punish. Noise missed out a chance earlier on, and that's Annihilation to punish him as he tries to regain some more ground back to Glass. Noise was made so that Annihilation would have an easier duel, and now it's a 3-on-3. The CT is still quite far from the bomb side.
Renewal could have actually just stuck to their advantage, but that aggression ends up not really working out. Score in secret as well. He's just been so good at keeping these players at bay. Score with another, weaving in and out of the vents. This is looking pretty impossible for Zeralti with only 14 points of health, and Score will make sure of that.
What patience from him, right? He drops down the vents early on in the round, right at the very beginning, and then it's just vents all day long for him. All he's caring about is a rotate, and then when it does finally come through, it's not even from vents, it's from the secret stairs. He just kills them all. He is nothing if not a stable pair of hands. And like you mentioned, that was a round where they got the advantage early on. Now this is concerning if you're a fan, especially because they were hoping to put the boss behind them, but if you're ending up 4-0 down and really not too many kills either, this will be a tough pill to swallow. Perhaps even tougher to spit out.
Ooh, they're all gets away with 1 point of health, and could actually still make something of himself here. Bomb is down. A chance to kill both Annihilation and Blitz, courtesy of how low their HP is. Zeralti's rotated all the way around, and because he's got a Deagle, 2 of these players are within 1-shot territory. Blitz falls. Annihilation also within the crosshairs of Zeralti, but the problem is he'd still have to kill one of these players that has full HP. Molotov keeps him away, even 1 tick from the flames. Just a smoke being in his eyes could potentially kill him with how little HP he's got. I think Zeralti might just be on saving weapons duty. He wants to go all the way around and perhaps grab a weapon from outside. IHC look untouchable right now.
The only weapon on outside that's available is next to red bins, though.
Yeah, there's... Unless he can get Annihilation or other Techno here. It's even pretty tough, though. I think just getting grazed by the bullet will be enough.
They open up some opportunities for themselves, right? Like there's some good Eagle kills, there's a spray down from Rooks, but no follow-up. And you didn't expect one in this round, in all fairness, but all you can give them credit for is, hey, they keep the economy for IHC from blowing up, at the very least, right? So they are still technically 1.5 gun rounds away from actually breaking that T-side economy. I say 1.5 because it depends on whether there is a bomb plant or not. Got another quick tech timeout if I'm not mistaken. But that one is resolved mighty soon. Probably just a TeamSpeak issue. Those are generally the ones which get resolved that quickly.
I mean, we've played in teams. We've had TeamSpeak issues as well, but they're less TeamSpeak issues. They're more friendship issues. I mean, I guess they count as TeamSpeak issues because they are within TS.
Well, Noise has been mollied up. That is a fantastic Molotov, just to make sure that the op can't actually try and spam through if you're planning on moving forward. Noise and Mick will still be trying to regain some control back over, as they're very concerned about a silent drop-down vents. They would rather get aggressive from behind it. Now, meanwhile, IHC on outside, Annihilation and the like have yet to actually use many smokes. They've still got 4 left, so if you want to set up a late cross or some sort of late presence to try and circle back for a garage control, that's very much possible, and that's exactly what they're going for. It's the full diagonals, if I'm not wrong. No, it's the L smokes, actually.
The only thing that's really allowing Renewal to keep IHC at bay late into the round is going to be those diagonals. That's what they're going to want to stick onto Oracle. Falls to the hands of Techno. News nearly connecting that shot, but he's able to get it through the door. And Techno, he does not know what hit him. IHC now in a 4 versus 3. News could have done a little bit more with his life there, but unfortunately he gets caught with a nade out against Annihilation. Mick is able to transgress a little further and gets the bomb down. At least he's brought this round within arm's reach, but the problem is Annihilation is cutting these arms off. Mick swings out, position no, there's a player behind us as well. Unfortunately can't isolate Blitz.
Look, man,
5-0, and IHC are pretty much showing us a recap of Inferno.
I'm taking offense to what you're saying. I think you're being very unfair on Annihilation, alright? He doesn't shoot arms off. I'll have you know he shoots heads off. Because those were all headshot kills so far. This guy has been nutty with the rifle. He's been so good. Been nothing if not impressive. And of course, to those of you guys who are maybe new to the mysteries of Annihilation, this man made his name on Nuke in D13, and right now there's trades galore. There's a lobby crunch being set up. Noise good for another, but who's crunching who? 3 players still alive, and our Ryuko's recovered an AK, but that AK is gone as well. Annihilation, I told you, only headshots.
Okay, I think the idea of Renewal just being tilted or just giving up a game or giving up a map as a fluke to IHC, I think that's out of the window because this is a little too convincing. In fact, if you think about Inferno, right, at least a lot of those rounds were close duels, but these rounds are not close. At least not close enough for comfort. Oh no, he's allowed them to get past the smoke. Techno with the opener. This is a whole lot of space for IHC, and I'm not even sure if Renewal are going to be able to respond to this. Nice little spray down. Oh, what a tight little angle for Xeralta to be able to pick up two. You're still challenging this. Still trying to fight back.
If they tag him. Okay. He brings it back to a 3-3. Annihilation is unreal right now. Tag damage on his Xeralta is not going to be insignificant either. Second Molotov? Mick has just been disabled from entering the bomb site. The bomb's already ticked down to half point, and Xeralta's the only one with a kit, so he cannot afford to die either. If he goes down in decon, it might just be game over. Annihilation setting up for what should be a bait and switch, but instead he's just got all the kills, right? Like... yes, Score, if I die, you've got this. But will you die?
Yeah, Xeralta in that position just got a drill. He drilled himself through the floor, and he's like, all of my kills from here on out will be as a turret from this position. He got the only 3 kills they were able to get against IHC in that round. All him, all from that door position. Barely moves an inch. And it still doesn't yield anything. 0-7 now, man. This is, again, Renewal staring down the barrel of a speedrun.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the way they're taking control of the back ends, the way they can just walk into every single duel and take it with that much confidence, they're exuding big matchmaking energy.
The most common type of energy that IHC exudes, obviously. Dude, this guy's actually insane. Like, who repeats that and then gets the kill? Okay, guys, it's 8-0 now. IHC's on their T side. Xeralta was really hoping that he could find some kills, but instead all he gets is death. That's all.
Listen, man, every great opera will tell you that sometimes the repeak is calculated, but most of the time, it's the voices in your head telling you to repeak. And the better you get at the game, the more voices there are.
You sound like a Gym-spiration TikTok. Which, in all fairness, Annihilation's probably like listening to those on the back of his mind. Dun, dun, dun.
The whole crowd goes so loud he repeaks with the op.
Making his mama proud, and noise won't come out because he's afraid. For good reason.
Oh, remind me to never put us on a rap album ever.
I don't think anyone's gonna be trying, don't worry.
Mm.
He did make his mama proud though. 14-2. Well, Rooks is hoping he doesn't get caught in his hand, and as he peeks from behind, this Score will just duck out. Score is the stark contrast of Annihilation, right? He just, I'm gonna play it safe, passive, and I'll still get the same kills. But the rockstar son versus the responsible, high-earning accountant. Both make their mom proud, but in very different ways.
You can't take one of them to a family gathering. Can't take the accountant.
Bartek right now is already low as he's trying to go in on the entry, so he switches out positions with Annihilation. Annihilation now moves forward, finally overrun. It looks like Renewal setting up for some success with the bomb already down, and these players as low as they are. This will not be easy. Score trying to bring the AWP in the close range angle. This will be too much to ask for, so he pulls out the deagle instead. Has had some success with it, but eventually Mick will just flank him out, and Renewal find their first.
I mean, I wouldn't really say that Team Renewal have found their footing or anything of that sort just yet. It's more like they fell off the tightrope, and they're just holding on to it as they're like looking at a pit of lava underneath them. Haven't quite fallen off, but we both know that grip's not gonna last long.
Look, we have to wait to see, right? Because this is still a possibility for IHC to end up being punished for the aggression that they're going for. We're making a lot of jokes, we're making a lot of iconic raps about Annihilation, but you know what? Iconic rappers sometimes fall off. And Annihilation, the subject, our raison d'etre of our art, might also be forced down once these repeaks and the like are punished, if those repeaks and the like are punished. And then it's all about plan B and whether IHC have one, but getting them to that plan B point is not easy. Renewal have taken the first step, but it is a long road regardless.
Secret control slowly being established by IHC. Oracle's been great in this position before. He's been able to click heads off. Unfortunately, the conversions just haven't come through, but now he's got a chance to prove themselves. Ooh, he's at the right time, but gonna have to back off with a flashbang as well. Rooks is able to get one. News is not able to respond to that AWP. Oracle is at least making it difficult for them to enter into the bomb site, but he eventually falls courtesy of Bartek. Zeralta and Rooks now trying to hold on to this bomb. Closing the door. Gets them control. Unfortunately, Zeralta can't do anything about the thorn in its side, which is Techno. Back to winning ways for IHC.
It's like they never left.
You talked about a long road. This is more like a downhill run where the hill keeps getting even steeper and you're guaranteed to fall.
Do I have a squirrel suit on at least?
No.
Okay, that makes it harder.
And I see your sugar glider.
Oh. Good first fuel coming out from Noise at the very least, right? Finding the advantage, fading away. Sure loses out a lot of his HP for it, but Zeralta is also in a good position, so if they don't actually throw their flashes forward, this could be a move to effect, and before that even capitalizes, Blitz and Zeralta have both traded out most of their life for each other's.
You talked about how IHC could potentially get punished for their aggression, but I have a lot of respect for the way IHC can immediately go to playing passive, and instead of just trying to push the issue, trying to brute force into a bomb site, when they lose the numbers, they're okay with devising a different plan, even when they're up 9-1. It's not like they just tried to brute force it. Now, it starts to come out. Rooks will be the first point of contact as they start to move into the A site. Feet starting to be spotted, but no, he didn't get that information because he didn't stick around long enough. For 30 seconds, IHC, they're starting to move in. Blitz gets caught out. Rooks is good for the double, and he should have no trouble getting the third as well. Renewal, they've put a second one on the board.
And it's put it into position where the T-side economy can actually be contended, right? If you lose this round in IHC, you have lost your economy. These have not been entirely clean rounds. They've been very good-looking rounds, don't get me wrong, but those have been a lot of messy, hey, we lost 2 players first, but then somehow you just come back and get a triple kill on Annihilation or score. Right, it's more impressive because they're giving up the advantage, but because when they give up that advantage, they also give up money. That could end up seeing an impact as we move forward. Annihilation, however, does not want that to happen, and Noise's death will be assisting him in keeping that op in his hands for a while longer. And hell, Declan's even gone and picked up a second one so that he can try and take it away from Ariukul. And scores somehow still.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that I can actually say about this.
Wow.
The one kill he could have gotten, the one kill he could have comfortably gotten, Annihilation's like, nah. The AWP, that was for show. The real power comes from within.
I mean, it's headshots with everything except the op, because he's like, well, it'll kill anyway, so, yeah. He has been a stud. This series has
I'm
really
not going to
been...
flex that hard, come on. I mean, I have some modesty.
This game has really been a story of Annihilation and score. And not to say that the rest of IHC aren't doing a job. They are. But it's just that that job will not look anywhere near as important, right? Like, you've got Steve Jobs as your CEO. Yeah, Tim Cook's not going to get too much shine. Renewal even buy up, snap, buy back. It's not an impossible round. Not even close to it, but it's obviously not ideal. Some server glitches coming out. You know those weird FPS bunks where everyone's like, oh, I've got a different console command for that, right? You type Archon and it'll be fixed. You type this, it'll be fixed. You call some guy on Twitter and ask him to tweet your PC for you, it'll be fixed, right? It's everyone has their own solution.
It's like the Council of Nerds will come up with all of their commands.
See, you say that, but I personally think this is a lot more like, you know how everywhere in the world, every mother has like her home remedy for a cold that's been passed down for years and years. It feels a lot more like that. It's like, oh, you're coming down with the flu? Well, take some ginger, rub 2 pieces of it together over the top of a hot stove, let the stove actually inhale the ginger, put some water on top of the stove. Remember, don't use a pot, just throw it right onto the fire, and when the water, well,
if you use a pot, it's going to lose its essential elements.
Yes, exactly.
So.
And whenever the water extinguishes, the ginger essence combined with the water vapor inside the room will fix your cold. And that's how your FPS will be fine.
That reminds me of how back in school, so like this is something that more like millennials would be able to relate to. I'm not sure if like we have enough of that audience, but back in school, everyone.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's fair actually. So everybody had their own way of catching like certain legendary Pokemon on the Pokemon games on the Game Boy. They were like, oh, but if you go behind this bush, you're gonna be able to find Mewtwo. He's gonna be level 100. And I'm like, bro, he's not in this game, I promise. And they're like, nope, trust me, this friend of mine did it. Everybody had their own little stories. And they were all true.
Yeah. Faraz was just trying to hoard the Mewtwo himself.
I actually got so scammed once.
Listen, let me make an analogy for people who are slightly older first, because no one's gonna get that. It's like the Gandhi. It's like the nuclear Gandhi in the first civilization. That's
oh,
what it is.
We're going that far back.
Hey man, you never know. Richard Lewis might be watching. Okay. Happy birthday, Richard. It was a little while ago, but even so. Regardless, though, of Richard Lewis, Boomer's Pokemon, and Nuclear Gandhi, the question is, what is a nuclear option from Team Renewal, right? What do they give the call for? We haven't really seen much in the way of outside aggression, flashes to try and take some peeks back from back red or anything like that. Maybe that could be something that's a call. They tried going for the lobby crunch once. It didn't really work out for them, but there's only so many options you have when your buy is as threadbare as this is.
Are we still paused for the FPS issue? Let me just check.
It might be. Who knows? How do you know if the FPS issue is fixed if you're still paused, though?
You use NetGraph like a normal person.
Yeah, but like your FPS is going to be pretty high if you're just standing still.
No. So the thing about the FPS bugs, right, is that it like consistently drops below 200 and it progressively gets worse. So
below 200. Oh no.
Yeah, but listen, for context,
I know.
if you're in spawn, you're supposed to get like 800.
Well, you're supposed to get 800. I get 200.
Yeah, and then yours is gonna be worse.
Yeah, of course. Well, regardless, I think we've got a server reset or server switch, something on those lines, and hopefully we can get back into it as a resume comes through. Okay, so lots of time to sit and dwell at how low the FPS is, but now I have to see whether or not Renewal can try and bring it back to a 5.
Pretty convincing half already for IHC. I mean, at this point, they've been playing for bonus points for a while now. Well, not a whole lot of buy. Nick heavily tagged up already. He's flashed out of his mind, so he takes a few extra ticks of damage from the Molotov as well. Rooks is within, well, doesn't matter. I was going to say one headshot territory, but then I remembered that the AK is not leaving any prisoners anyway.
Well, Score doesn't need headshots, apparently. He does it with the body. And Ryukul is trying to recontest in from Ram. Good for the first, at the very least, and a lot of damage on the Techno as well. Annihilation. Have to count on him to find the shot. And of course, he doesn't land that one. Instead, pulls out the P250. Techno. Oh, as well. Techno speaking out. Looked like he'd lined up the pre-fire, but not quite there, unfortunately. So 1 HP, 1 on 2. For Annihilation to try come out on top of the smoke down. Any spam? No, they're not even spamming in through it. Annihilation's just gonna hug the wall and move past. Noise as well. It's nowhere nearby. Annihilation could go back towards this A bomb site, relatively uncontested. And they started to realize that there's still 35 seconds on the clock. Noise is moving backwards. Mick is yet to reveal his position. Oh my god.
No way.
If he comes in for main, he might just get a freebie onto Noise anyway. They're not going to be expecting him at all. He's heard the footsteps. Annihilation. Yes. He's made it all up for himself. He's got the first. There's lots of time to plant and then even re-navigate back for the one-on-one. Annihilation. Misses out the first one, misses out what should have been the easy one, and now he knows where the last man is coming in from as well. Mick needs some RNG going his way, but it won't! It won't! Annihilation on the single point of HP sets it up like a chessboard. And he is the Grandmaster.
Oh my god, remember when he pulled out the P250 after missing the AWP shot? That's exactly why. He wanted to set himself up with 1 HP just for that. (11-2) now. IHC, I mean, after a round like that, I'm sure Renewal are pretty much done with. There's not a whole lot of confidence you can have after you get dunked on like that. Nick, able to get a kill. Top of the hut, early on. Bartek, though, able to connect through the smoke. An early advantage for Renewal, but the problem is Techno has already made his way down into vents with the bomb.
Good position for Noise.
Speedy Gonzalez himself has too much control here, but at least they now only have 2.
Oh!
Oh no!
4K in his name. 4K is what he needs, and Techno is really good from this angle. The problem is going to be the player coming in from the flank. Can he actually find the first three duels? Gets the first. Aryuko gone without losing any HP.
No.
Techno's going to keep on fighting, but Noise had recovered the AWP of Annihilation. If not, that could have gone very differently. I'm telling you, man, Techno and Bartek, both on that exact angle, are incredible.
As soon as that first tap connected over towards the player in the site, I just started getting flashbacks of that one Scream Frag movie where you can just like see their perspective as they're getting tapped one by one in B bomb site. Like on the old Nuke, chills.
Noise so aggressive, also aggressive, but Annihilation covers it off. Zeralte will be able to punish the over-aggression that comes after the first kill. So it's an equalizer at the very least, but that's a very limited time offer. Techno will still be able to come back. Wow.
Nothing that mid can do in that position. Blitz just has too good of an angle. Zeralte about to be put out of commission as well. I mean, getting a 1v4 doesn't seem like a very doable prospect. 12-3. IHC looks pretty much untouchable right now, and we'll be right back after a short break to see how the second half is going to unfold. welcome back, everybody. I'm not really sure of what to say about Team Renewal right now, because unfortunately they haven't really been putting up much of a performance. A couple flashes in the pan, but even when they did look like they would be able to do something, their hopes and dreams have been crushed by the likes of Annihilation.
Well, for now, their call seems to be straightforward. Go for some heaven control, but they've been caught off guard by Annihilation once again. Lots of noise made as they do proceed forward, trying to get the under heaven position. But Annihilation is actually trying to flank Mick and will be able to do so. Blitz, meanwhile, will keep on contesting. Wants this one-on-one to turn into a two-on-one, but Aryuka will die to his hands and even get some time to reset his aim. It won't be enough. Zerold peeks back over, and Bartek's the one to take the duel instead. I told you before, he is a madman on this angle, and let's see whether he can actually come into play over here as well. Annihilation is the one who's just sealing the deal so far. A one-on-one between him and Noise, a big two for either side. This is going to be a big one, but as convinced as he is of the presence on the right side, Noise will just peek back over and make it look easy.
And this is where what you said in the previous map comes into play, right? You talked about how a 12-3 is way better than a half, like a 13-2, 14-1, and this is because the pistol round can still be used for leverage, right? And that's exactly what Team Renewal are looking forward to doing. Get that first pistol round, they've done that. First win condition ticked off. Now, there's several different win conditions that they're still going to have to fulfill, but at least they've gotten the first one out of the way, and they have.
Also important that you don't lose to the force fire. Well, technically wasn't a force fire last time they lost to it. But anyhow.
Okay. Techno might be able to get away with some damage here. I'm not sure if they're going to look out for him. Yeah, he's banking on the fact that he's going to get more than just the one. He's about to double it and give it to the next person. Score, and Techno, they've gotten 1 kill apiece. Mick is able to respond before it gets out of hand. But the AK continues to deliver, and now it's a 2-on-2. Annihilation wants to chime into the party as well. There's no kit available, but Score still wants to be a menace. At least they've gotten a lot of weaponry away from the hands of the terrorists. Hole in the door, and Zeralte will put a hole in Score's head.
Some really good shots coming out from Zeralte. Starting off with the entry onto Bartek, that was what obviously made everything a little bit more possible down to the lower bomb side. He is able to make up for the fact that Techno goes by underlooked for so long. Otherwise, this could have been a very different round. You could certainly see it in your mind's eye, but finally, what should, underlining the word should, be a comparatively easier round for Team Renewal. Still, 3 Eagles are present for the IHC boys, and I can't blame them with the kind of hands that they've got. Building the Eagles. Exhibit A.
Okay. See if we can see more exhibits. And I'm not talking about the kind that pimps your ride out.
Oh. Bartek's gone. 4 trades again. And already advantage is lost in a big way, because the CG can even try and close in the distance. Blades trying to get his own magic hands to work out, but Rooks will not be having any of it. He's a man of science and firepower. That firepower is greatly increased.
Can't really knock IHC for the amount of damage they've been able to deliver. Okay, that got a little shaky. Got cold hands for a second, but at least he gets away with the first. Now Renewal, they've got to close the 6th round gap. The good thing is they've at least gotten the monstrous task of getting past those first 3 rounds out of the way, because that was just something that was just staring at them, right? Like, okay, we're getting destroyed, 10-0, 7-0, some whatever scoreline, right? It's just not looking good. They've gotten past that. Now it's just a regular. It just looks like a regular loss right now, rather than crushed.
Oh, that's a gap in the middle of the smoke. Let's. Don't think he actually spotted the player crossing over. And that is Zeralte moving down. Hopefully he can jump past the scope as well, because the is about to take him down. Zeralte. They didn't stand a chance there.
And we're back.
Oh. Annihilation did at least get the shot off, right? So, had a chance, but Rooks is the one who is more accurate with his bullet. That being said, Renewal is still in a tough position, 2-on-4, and Ariukul will have to find some way to accomplish wonders. 2 players in this A-bomb site need to be able to isolate at least one of them and get away to safety while there's still time left. Does isolate out the first one. Loses most of his HP for it and scores more than happy to come through and pick up the speed. Groups 22 HP is not going to be enough as Blitz will find his second long-range duel of the round and 3rd kill in general. IHC back to winning ways.
Flirting with the finish line already, and Team Renewal, they haven't been able to get enough rounds in 2 games yet to muster up 1 map win. I was really hoping for a much stronger performance after you saw that match win victory. Not materializing against IHC. Now, they have managed to get themselves a dent through this door of the defense of IHC. Score, watch the propagation. There it is. First kill collected. The bomb also drops right into the lap of Score. So this is already a package deal. Just put a little ribbon on it and they're done.
He's so confident right now. Oh, I've got 2 kills and I don't know what the last 2 are. Let me just jump through this window. This should be game over. You are force buying in 6-14, and look, it's probably the right decision theoretically, right? But let's not sugarcoat it. Team Renewal have an infinitesimally small chance here. Especially when they lose out that first duel. Mick trying to get aggressive with the Eagle over there. It is getting more and more difficult, and you can't see them being able to recover in any way. This was just a matchup that you weren't hoping would go this way, especially like you said after the Lin performance, or the anti-Lin performance.
There are games when there's a pretty substantially difficult scoreline for a team, and you would still say, like, yeah, I feel like the scoreline might not be representative of how well they've actually played, or the fact that they can still come back because they've had some really good moments and things like that, but this is not one of those games.
Yet. It might not be one of those games afterwards either, in all fairness. I think this is just one of those moments as well where Renewal's going to go back to this and have a lot to take home, a lot to try and learn, a lot of pieces to try and pick up, a lot of protocols to try and implement, right? Like, how do we deal with super aggressive opera? How do we deal with score slurs? How do we do all of these things that we maybe don't have to do that often against other teams? And now they're learning it the hard way. Score and Techno start things off, and it's the beginning of the end, and hell, it might as well be the end of the end as well. Ariukul, the only person trying to fight back, 16-6. IHC will proceed through in their road or perhaps flight to Brazil, and Team Renewal will be eliminated in that process.
About as fast of a game as it could possibly be, right? First map, very easy victory for IHC. Second map as well, that was just a mow down. I mean, IHC more like, I hate close games. Don't look at me.
Right. I think